Tuscarora.com here with Chris Riddle, 2015 Pro Style quarterback from Tuscarora High School in Leesburg, Virginia. Chris, we've seen your recruitment really spike since we first started talking to you over the beginning of the summer. Tell us a little bit about these new schools that are showing interest in you and your recent visits. You went to Boston College and Notre Dame, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Tell us about your first visit at Boston College.
Boston College, it was my first visit, so I'm always gonna remember that. But as far as the actual visit went, we got there at around 6:15. Went around the campus for probably about half an hour. It's a beautiful campus. You could tell I guess the dean, I don't know, who's ever in charge of money. They put a lot of time and effort into that campus, and then got to the game. I got to stay on the sideline during pregame. You got to see him warm me up. That was really cool. Took a bunch of pictures. Um, we got to got to sit on the 30-yard line, 10 rows up. So that was a really nice view. And then afterwards, we got to go high five all the players as they went into the tunnel.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about Touchdown Jesus in Notre Dame.
Touchdown, Jesus. We got to stand near the reflecting pool, like right next to it as the players walked by for the walk. And then right after they got by, we got to just follow in right behind them, all the recruits, and we got to just walk right behind the players as they went through. And just the fans were going crazy. They're just telling us to come to Notre Dame. We want you to be Irish. It was crazy, but it also really humbling. And then at the game, we got same thing as Boston College. We got to go stay on the sideline, watch them warm up, and then we just watched the game. And then afterwards, we got to go shake all the players' hands or high five them after the game, just like Boston College.
What are you hoping to take away from the Georgia visit?
Oh, Georgia, I've heard and seen a lot about them, and I want to go see it in person. But also, Coach Richt, he runs a pro-style offense. He's a great offensive mind, and his Christian values also I like those because I'm a Christian myself.
What are some of the things as far as there's some schools that you haven't been in contact with that you have an interest in? Who would some of those schools be?
I think I like LSU, and some of their fans have been talking to me on Twitter, but I tried to get an official visit there, and they said no.
Did that leave a sour taste in your mouth, or have any ill feelings towards the program since they haven't really placed you on their radar?
Obviously, it kind of disappointed me a little bit, but at the same time, I just gotta keep going. I have a camp, not a camp, 7-on-7 NFL tournament next, I think in December or January,
Hmm.
and so hopefully I can go get an unofficial visit or just tour the campuses there. My dad calls ahead.
What's some of the things that you feel like have really helped you since your football IQ seems to be pretty high? Do you think that that's attributed to some of the people you've studied under, like Coach Kruger and Coach Sims, who are known as quarterback gurus?
Oh, of course, Coach Kruger and Coach Sims. Coach Kruger works with me about mostly the upper half, the mechanics and stuff, and Coach Sims helps me with a lot of the lower body mobility in the pocket and running and stuff. And also another coach, Coach Kennan, he did a lot of the same stuff as Coach Kruger, except after we threw, he would take me into the Georgetown, just what's it called, prep,
Hmm.
Georgetown prep, and he would take me to their film room, and we'd watch film for about an hour and a half. And so I think that really helped me in my football IQ.
Now, you've made some comments in times past of how certain quarterbacks, and I won't say any names, how they have a tendency to not look down the safeties and things like that. Do you attribute your ability to dissect plays and where you can see some things that the quarterbacks did and not reading the right progression or checking down the safety by looking them off? How did you develop that at such an early age?
I think just watching a lot of football, watching a lot of film, if you stare down a receiver, the safety's going to jump over there. And so if you want to throw to the left side, you got to stay on the right side to throw to back to the left.
Okay. And last but not least, with the social media platform being so large and ever used and present in today's time, um, and being in the world of football and recruiting, I'm sure there's a lot of different fan bases out there that have probably started reaching out. Is there any particular fan base in particular that has basically led the pack or impressed you with how well they follow our team?
Yeah, I mentioned earlier LSU fans. You know, they've been following me on Twitter, and I think they have been the most consistent with talking to me on Twitter.
Does that annoy you or do you like it?
It definitely doesn't annoy me.
Okay. And last but not least, what are some things that you're going to go into the summer now that your season is concluded for 2012? What are some of the things that you're looking to work on and improve to make you a better player? And what are some of the aspirations and dreams that you have?
I mean, I'm a pro style quarterback, but I think my pocket mobility is fairly decent. But I'm still gonna work on that and my speed, because if a quarterback, being a pro style quarterback, it's still nice to have that speed.
Do you notice how effective some of the best quarterbacks are that's not necessarily having like a 4-4 speed, but how quick they can just move 3 steps or 2 steps up in the pocket to create a little bit more time to go for that longer throw? Have you exercised that from your film breakdown?
Yes, definitely. I think that's a big takeaway.
Well, and finally, we'll conclude this interview with a final question. When you're looking to make a final decision on your school, and I know you're real early in the process, being a 2015 prospect, but are you going to look at the depth of their O-line and the type of O-line that they have to see what type of protection you'll have, or whether they're just, big blockers, or if they're agile and big blockers? Is that going to be something that you weigh heavily in your decision?
I mean, yeah, obviously the offensive line does everything. You know, I'd be nothing without them. So I think that'll play a role.
Okay. Well, once again, Gino Joubert, recruiting editor for www.tigereye.com, with Chris Riddle from Leesburg, Virginia.